Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to DeathSpank. I was looking at the pause menu here and I noticed that they have a trademark TM in the logo on the upper left hand side. You very rarely see that in video games. It's not worth, I think, video games time or money to defend a trademark, nor is it likely that even a trilogy of games, which I doubt they were really planning on this to be a trilogy. It was at least planned to be a sequel. But even if you had a long-running series, like trademarks being claimed, not very common, not very useful. So what I'm going to do is walk over here and see if...
I'm not touching that.
Okay. So what I want to do is run over to the ghosts. Since we are now at level 8, the ghosts are at level 7, and that is like the only one thing that that we didn't actually kill in this area. Then we'll go back and we'll kind of grind on the demons and get into the demon mine. I don't feel like there's really going to be a lot of quests or reasons to come back and come back to this area, even if these characters did level up with us fairly fast. Increasing armor up to 2 levels I think is the right move. At some point we probably should just get a block upgrade, but I think we're kind of fine. We haven't been really picking up items that were 2 levels ahead of us, so what we're setting ourselves up for is we could potentially get more gold and buy more things from the shops that are a couple of levels ahead of us. Like there's one that's 13 levels available for purchase, so there's probably a good move there. Is this gonna kill me, or yeah, these ghosts seem completely invulnerable to everything, so physical, ice, undead. Well, I would guess that undeath probably is the thing to use. Yeah, they're getting straight up hit as being immune to undeath. Interesting. So undeath also not doing anything. Nature, ice, undeath, fire. So this does 250 damage, which this does 400 damage. This does 350, this does 375. Let's see. I guess I have to just try and equip this and see what this does. Because this feels like this should do something. You would think a wizard staff would have some effect on people. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Interesting. Okay. let's go ahead and re-equip our spinning blade. I do enjoy that. I would like an upgrade on my crossbow. And then this one does 250 versus this one doing 400, so there's really no reason not to just meat grinder that and meat grinder that, since we have always equipped the best armor. The game is so simplistic that there's really even no reason to have to run a comparison on the armor's case. I guess armor will never have a special defense against fire or any other elemental effect. That was the thing that theoretically would have prevented a lot of more complicated RPGs from automatically equipping the best armor or the best weapons. The weapons do seem to do elemental damage, and that's why there isn't an auto-equip the best weapons option. Plus, it would be a little weird if the game started playing differently all of a sudden because it automatically equipped a new weapon for you. We'd already killed those, so we're kind of just trying to grind a little bit before we get to these demons, which there might be an argument to try to go with some ice damage, but the things that I have that would do ice damage are actually pretty low, so yeah, I don't think I'd want to do that. I think it's just smarter to do this and then try and run into this whole fight this way. And I guess we'll be looking for keys if we can get them, and anything else that would be helpful. Any little bit of experience. We might hit a point here where it stops becoming realistic to grind and starts becoming much more of just a hassle, and maybe at that point I'll decide to put down the difficulty. This is pretty much the gameplay loop though. Either you're going to stand in one place eating food to recover, or you're going to do something else to recover. I guess there are some indicators in the central health bar that might be indicators that we have coins or keys, because there's a key symbol there. I don't know how exactly that works, however. Alright, so off to the demon mine we go. Level 8 demon overseer, not too hard to kill. Quest wise, by the way, yeah, we really only have one quest at the moment. Our armor could be improved, so we might need to upgrade the armor. Right, and now we are not quite into the demon mine. I think the demon mine is an actual cave in the game. So, so did I just die there because I was rather low health, or did I just get overwhelmed by something? Here's what we need to do. We need to hold down the D-pad and see if it would eat a second one. No, it wouldn't. I could use one of the spells to increase my armor. Let's see if I can get some pot shots off and kind of kill these guys without getting hit a lot. I'm about half health. We've run into a bit of a difficulty spike. And it certainly is no fun to sit for effectively a minute. So do I want to go with the chicken cannons? Let's go see how that works. Let's go with the increased armor. And I'm gonna even use a potion. I'm just gonna tap A lot to activate the spinning attack after I killed everything. It definitely does feel very cardboardy, like a Yoshi's Woolly World type game. Oh, I already have the max amount of health potion, so I would like to be able to expand the maximum number of health potions I can have, but I bet you can't. I wouldn't even be surprised if it actually is a case that health potions and things like this get more just evolved, and we never see like a level 2 and a level 1 at the same time. I bet all these just convert. What are we thinking about here? Let's see. This does a lot of damage, where the extra armor really didn't do much for us. This is health plus 60, which I assume is not as good as that. Seems like some of the pickup items we get are kind of garbage items, but you can grind them, and I don't think that there's anything like named sets that would synergize. If there are things like that, they're gonna be a while. Seems kind of silly we jumped over nachos completely. And we're mostly getting not French fries, but ice cream bars. So here we have our first cavern, and it looks nice. It looks like we don't have a huge area.
Skillfully alternating weapons allows me to fill the justice meter quicker. Using the same weapon twice in a row slows down justice and is a social faux pas.
So that's a weird way to push the game, because now effectively, instead of me just deciding that I want to press X then A, now I have to press X then A, X then A. It's like your character just has a two-handed sword attack. Here we have a major demon. Let's maybe not fight that guy yet. There's some rubies, which I think might have some value. There's nothing, this isn't an item you can interact with. And here we go. There's some auto lock problems. Right. Over here on the right, I think is the demon well, which will let us get the demon water, which will let us at least finish that quest. And we'll see if this spells doom for us in some other way. Uh-oh, I'm poisoned. So I gotta kind of hurry, don't I? The demon water is poisoning me, and I can't eat anything, so I have to run. And it's not like I had a lot of opportunities to increase my speed with the demon water back to, I guess, the fast travel location. And then we'll fast travel, deliver the demon water, which is poisoning us. It's not letting me use it. Okay. So we have to just run the old-fashioned way. And this is gonna really suck. Alright, we can use that one. Good. The fast travel. But yeah, I'm not gonna be super happy that I had to use a healing spell.
Greetings, industrious worker. This bucket runneth over with quality demonic water.
Oh, yes. This is exactly what I need.
And it healed me when we turned in the quest.
Bow before my magnificent cherries. Oh, yes.
So now we have a chess piece of the Guardians. I'm still not really sure if there's anything else that this guy could give us.
Greetings, industrious worker. Goodbye, Farmer Bubblewood.
So there's some dialogue that we're skipping, certainly. We could ask people about Lord Von Pang if we wanted to. But let's be realistic here. I don't feel like if you're enjoying this game, you're going to enjoy it more because you have a slightly better understanding of the simplistic story. So this is health 90, 25% fire versus health 100. Oh, why was I sorting things then? Apparently it will sort things for us just fine. But their sort is different to my sort. I was gonna turn off always equip best item, and I'm gonna equip this chess piece for a temporary moment. May not really matter.
Greetings, armorist. Let's see your weapons selection.
So right now we have 56,436 gold, which really just goes to show that the economy is way too messed up. Mild magical powers and marks on your skin. Health plus 30, 3% on death. Health plus 30, 3% resist nature. Otherwise, we have several items that would potentially increase our armor some more. And then weapons wise, we have these. Like, not only do we have these, we kind of sold and grinded a lot of these. Passable crossbow is a upgrade, so we should probably buy that. And then this poison club is an interesting idea, but it's probably a little too low. So let's buy this, this, and we can't even afford this. And definitely more things that could be bought, but also more things that could easily just be used. So let's just double check. This did 40 physical. This does 212. That is a major improvement on the crossbow. And let's see. Is there something major we could sell? Undeath versus fire. I would assume the demons are fire damage dealing. One would be really weird if they weren't. So I think that's about as best as we can do. So back to the Demon Trail outhouse. What's weird is apparently we can't get inside the actual cave, even though there's an outhouse there. So in that case, I think the outhouse is really just a representation of a checkpoint, not particularly a fast travel section. We're still running into a problem, though, with this. There's a pretty large amount of demons. So this one is out of order. Alright, here we go. Apparently I can take out a level 10 guy. I'm a little surprised by that. And we didn't try to sell the rubies. So I am going to assume that the rubies play some other role. Otherwise this is just a early game place to grind a lot of money, potentially. I don't think this game has a gym system like Diablo, where we're gonna have socketed weapons and put gems in it. There's plumbing in this mine, which is a little surprising. Am I gonna walk in the lava? Apparently not. It kind of looked like lava. It's a little weird for the game to also want you to randomize your attacks when like the spin attack does the exact opposite. I would say all the pop-ups of collectibles in the top left is a little annoying. Like the heads-up display, if we like we can't really turn that stuff off, can we? Yeah. Let's see, show tutorial, floating target heads-up display. Yeah, doesn't seem like there's any real customization here to potentially get rid of some of the stuff that's showing up. 15% more melee damage. You might be interesting, or more money. Are we gonna go with items or self-determination? I think we'll go with money, because we'll have to buy other items on top of just the regular things. So unless we get up on top of that platform, that is not a path. Of course, the game could really surprise us too, and we could spend all of our money purchasing equipment and then find that
An enemy's health and level is displayed over their head. I mean, if they have a head. Some don't. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
so green if it's easy to kill, red if it's not so easy. So this is a level 20 character that seems to be kind of in love with me. It says a big happy monster. Okay. He's not gonna attack me. And Hungry Monster's Bowl. So what do we want to put in the Hungry Monster's Bowl? Hungry Monster's food. So we just fed the monster. I don't know where we got that food from, but whatever. He's gonna step on a switch. Or at least he's supposed to step on a switch. So we can cross over. Then here we have a teleport that's out of order again. So I guess the idea is one of the side places I went to, one of the side paths had the Hungry Monster's food. And we collected that. Not that it really matters because you want to grind here. You don't want to run into a bad scenario where you're under leveled and from being under leveled you end up managing to die or get in a loop of dying over and over again. There's not really much of a penalty for dying here other than losing gold, but there's not any experience that you're getting from dying either. So this is true in many games, but you might run into a scenario where you're dying against, say, a level 12 demon and it kills you and you just lose your gold and you don't gain any experience. Then you have to run up and fight it again and you lose again and you lose more gold, and it just becomes the cycle of failure that's never fun. This game doesn't permanently kill any enemies, so you wouldn't 100% ever be in that scenario because you could always run backwards and grind on some easier enemies. And in my case, at least for this moment, I could also root beer float. So if I hit left trigger and sort this again, let's see. Wish there was a way to compare health plus 40 on this helmet, health plus 35. I think what I'm gonna do is just pull the right trigger again and let it put on the best equipment, and we'll see if the fire resistance was really necessary or not. Right, we have 2 out of the 3 pieces that would be needed for a full set of infernal energies. But there's almost certainly no reason to hold on to that armor set either. If the game is going to put us in another fire level, we'll almost certainly have a higher version of a fire resistant outfit that comes about. It's a little nice that we're getting root beer floats without particularly knowing what they're for. I think they're probably health ups. I should have looked at that actually. Man, I wish you could at least go to your menu. Yeah, 550. So level 9 health up. Yep. Not really anything else to say. So now this outhouse has been activated, but it is out of order also. You can see there's some yellow tape around it, although it's a little dark. The whole game's a little dark, and didn't do a more modern setup at the beginning to tell us to adjust our brightness. This game might have benefited from that, but probably only in caves and sections like this, and everything else is probably fine. So use magical crystal with sealed door.
I need to charge the crystal first.
Okay. So how do we charge the crystal? Do we put these in here? Yes, we do. So those were what the rubies were for. They weren't for selling, unfortunately. And this should open the door to the artifact. At least that's what DeathSpank thinks. But obviously not. We're gonna get introduced to our first boss, our first enemy, and they're gonna steal it out from under our nose, obviously. And we'll have a boss fight to escape, and we'll get some kind of reward, but it won't be what we're expecting. Obviously, the game's not going to be over. It's a little interesting that this part of the map is not mapped. I would say some of the size of these creatures doesn't even initially synchronize with the difficulty of some of these characters. Like a small imp at level 9 seems to be as dangerous as a large demon level 9, where I would have thought those would have been completely different classes. Here we have a monk of the artifact, and let's see.
I don't think he wants that.
Alright, we're gonna have to talk to him.
Greetings, monk.
Salutations of the gods and goddesses be with you.
Isn't it a little hot in here to be wearing those robes?
Let's go with the
Is
joke.
it? I honestly can't say I've noticed.
Yeah, these lines of dialogues are funny enough. They're not great. It kind of feels like, as the designer, Ron Gilbert gave some general input, but probably wasn't the writer. And maybe very well that Ron Gilbert's input even in Monkey Island wasn't the writing. Or perhaps he ran out of jokes with Monkey Island 1 or 2. That would have been years and years.
What's a monk like you doing in a place like this?
Oh, I'm just here to enjoy the scenery.
So,
that thing over there is the artifact, isn't it?
Yes, that it is. And don't you dare pick it up, or else terrible, terrible things will happen.
Hey, how did you know I was going to...
The greedy, voracious look in your eyes said it all. Well, that and I saw the quest log pop-up message.
So, I suppose it's worth mentioning that you could play this game co-op if it would particularly work. So if you had a second controller plugged in, maybe that would work. You're playing as a unmentioned character, basically, and you're not going to affect the story in any way. But it's certainly a nice feature in most games. There's no online co-op or anything like this, and again, this is a shortened, abbreviated experience of an action RPG game, so it's not like you would get online with your friends and go through your World of Warcraft raids over and over again, playing DeathSpank. It was never going to be a game that popular or worthy of 5 playthroughs.
Why can't I pick up the artifact?
The artifact.
I hate
is
that
the
the
thing that
pop-ups
holds
are just in the
everything
wrong
together.
places.
O thou of significantly reduced faith.
So, you're saying it's some kind of holy symbol, like the sign of the chicken?
Indeed, but much more powerful and twice as delicious.
So it holds everything together, which is kind of funny for the ending of this game, which I won't spoil.
You don't understand. I really need this artifact.
Oh? What for?
I don't know.
A mysterious red-haired woman told me to recover it years ago.
You wouldn't believe how many would-be heroes come marching in here with that exact same excuse. The question is, did she tell you why?
I don't know. I've never listened to a single word she says. A true hero never needs to stop and ask questions. Well, you know how it was with women and their artifacts.
I don't know. I never listened to a single word she says.
Just as I thought. He who closes his eyes to the truth shall eventually find himself with no eyes at all.
What's that even supposed to mean?
You'll figure it out someday. If you don't bring about the end of the world, that is.
I think I have a headache now.
It happens to the best of us.
So, DeathSpank basically being the tick, he should be a little bit sexist. Like, that feels right for the character. But not so much that he's just straight up repulsive. You want to give a comedic character like this some negative qualities that everybody can laugh at, but they have to be minimal negative qualities. So, for instance, if you were to write this character as just immediately stabbing the monk, while that would be subverting expectation and in some way humorous, it would forever stain the characterization of DeathSpank as just a brutal killer in a lot of people's minds, so they couldn't go with that plan.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and take that artifact now.
You wouldn't dare.
Oh yeah? Just you watch me.
So we'll see the monk probably attack us first. In one way or another. So the monk apparently did not summon the demons. The demons just summoned themselves. Level 9. And we'll go ahead and drink another health potion. The guy's jumping up in the air, almost to intentionally give you enough time to run and eat some food. You can kind of see that there's a problem with this gameplay mechanic because of the fact that this guy does seem to land on you regardless of how you run, and every boss battle arena is going to have to be particularly large.
Now, if you will excuse me.
So he just teleported himself away. We'll just run around here and make sure that there's nothing to pick up.
Pressing 2 buttons at the same time is mathematically more fun than pressing just one. Just follow the instructions on these rune stones to vanquish evil in new and interesting ways.
Interesting combo. You generally don't have combos even in an action RPG. So if we equip a melee fire weapon and a cleaver and use them at the same time when the justice meter is full, we'll have a powerful and unique attack. Again, still can't hit B to get out of these I'm wondering if maybe just all the overlay menu here had to be redone for like Windows 7 or Windows 10 or Windows 8 or something. So that runestone, where did it go? That's the question. We would need a cleaver and a fire weapon, which we could do a fire axe and a cleaver and then X and Y. But then that would do considerably less damage than what we've got here, which does 375 physical. Oh, I guess we just keep the runestones down here, which kind of explains why there's so much room in this inventory. And it seems like, yeah, you just have to have the runestone forever. And there's nothing else we can do, so we have to move the story forward. Quest complete.
Clutching the artifact, a triumph.
And we get our second cutscene of the game.
DeathSpank fought his way
about 2 hours in.
That powerful does not go unnoticed by those that seek to possess it.
Is that
ambushed by an entire orc army, even the mightiest of heroes would fall.
I expected more from you, DeathSpank. I see you've fallen into my trap, Sergeant Orc.
Apparently this is a character.
Lord will be pleased we have the artifact. I smell a promotion for me.
Yep. Again, very cardboardy. He snaps the sword, which one would hope is not an actual weapon.
DeathSpank, you are so close, but you must keep trying. We now know how important it is.
And so we see the 3D version of this same story. Quest added, concoct an excuse, get your weapons back. I have literally nothing equipped. So we can level up. And I'm gonna go move 10% faster. Eventually we'll get that other one. So I think we have to just talk to her because we are down to our default unequipped self, and I'd like to be able to zoom in and look at that.
Greetings, redhead woman. Oh, it's you.
Hello, DeathSpank.
So this is the redheaded woman. I have another important
mission for you.
Let's see.
You wouldn't happen to have a spare sword, would you?
Why? What happened to yours?
Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm asking for a friend.
Well, tell your friend that I can't help him.
It's an interesting animation of a redheaded woman. Like, of most redheaded women described, they are usually animated and drawn as a femme fatale. So to see her in armor, to see her not drawn particularly much better than the witch was drawn. They are trying to stay within a kind of unique art style, but there's only maybe the beginnings of a hint of a potential romantic interest, which will almost certainly go right over DeathSpank's head, and we won't have any romance.
I don't have to follow you. Your trail is littered with violence.
I checked, and dismembered body parts aren't technically litter.
So, I suppose that's worth mentioning that in bigger RPGs, particularly Asian RPGs, JRPGs, Japanese, Korean, Chinese RPGs, you often do have storylines and plots where characters do have romantic interests and do other things than run around and just fight monsters, to the point where a lot of games that have RPG elements in them really are just using the RPG gameplay mechanic as a way of stretching out the amount of time you spend in the game instead of it being the main focus. In this game, it is very front and center and obviously the main focus that they want you to learn how to sort of button mash with some purpose here, almost getting to the point of a very simplistic fighting game. Should I redo these options?
Don't you have anything better to do?
Or are we
than
just going to get the
stalk
same
me?
response?
I'm not following you. Get over yourself.
You should get a hobby.
Yeah, I guess the
I hear
comedy
good
is
things about macrame.
to
Cleaning
keep
up after you is a full-time hobby.
clicking
That's a
and
strange
insisting.
hobby. But if it makes you happy,
So, and certainly in most dialogue selection games, you really do want to go down one path of a conversation and see it out as far as you want to. It would be a little bit helpful if the cursor stayed on the last choice to help you with that.
are you going to keep following me?
As always, you can find me in the local town. Though I'm not following you.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
So there is an eventual end to all
Do
of it.
you know where my friend could find a new sword?
Head up to the town of Pluckmuckle and talk to the mayor. He'll be able to tell you where to go.
Do you know where
I wonder
my
if this one
friend
will just
could
give us the
find a
same
new
response.
Head up to the town of Pluckmuckle and talk to the mayor. He'll be able to tell you where to go.
It's kind of funny to have fortune cookies and then also have lines of dialogue in the conversations that will just tell you what to do.
Isn't important mission an oxymoron?
See this sign beside me?
Sure. Missing orphans, $100,000 reward posted by the mayor of Pluckmuckle. What of it?
Sounds like somebody needs a hero.
Can't they make more?
No, they need your help.
But orphans are dirty and smelly.
What happened to that whole hero to the downtrodden thing?
You're right. Justice has no sense of smell, so neither shall I. I'll meet with
I
the
think
mayor
that
of
is kind of his
Pluckmuckle at once.
slogan, is that justice has no sense of smell. It kind of feels like she should be the co-op character and she should be with you the whole time, because you kind of need her as a straight man to the silliness of DeathSpank.
Where is this Pluckmuckle town, anyways?
Just follow this road. You can't miss it.
Oh, we'll see about that.
It's a little weird when you do these dialogue selection options, and then sometimes you only get one chance to pick an answer, and sometimes you can just pick everything. I don't know how they really improve that. Maybe you put a different border, one-time chance or something at the top, or pick a response versus like maybe labeling it or just having it with a different border if it's a query menu.
I've got bad news about the artifact. Sergeant
We're
Orc and a band
taking
of
a
his
little
merry
bit
men
longer than we
appeared,
probably should to
and
get through this
Gave you a wedgie
conversation.
and kicked dirt into your face, right?
I was going to make it sound more heroic. But, yeah, basically.
Well, the artifact is probably on its way to Lord Von Prong by now.
Von Prong. So, I suppose we should figure out who Lord Von Prong is, since we haven't bothered to ask anybody
Who
else.
is this Lord Von Prong, anyway?
Well, he's only the most feared tyrant in all the land. If the rumors are to be believed, he might be behind the missing orphans, too.
Typical. It's never the fourth most feared tyrant, is it?
I don't think orphan snatching is really Jimbo the belligerent landlord's style.
So, we'll continue down this path.
So you think this Lord Von Prong guy kidnapped the orphans?
That's what the rumors say.
Well, what do you say?
I can only say what the rumors say.
If the rumors went and jumped off a cliff, would you jump too?
Let's not get sidetracked, DeathSpank.
Let's see. It seems like this would end the conversation and this would end the conversation. And these two seem like they'll just go forever.
I've decided to rescue the missing orphans of Pluckmuckle.
Good for you, DeathSpank. Just make sure it doesn't turn out like last time, okay?
There's a very simple explanation for that.
Just be careful, DeathSpank. And while you're at it, maybe you can try getting the artifact back?
Well, actually, no, that didn't end the conversation, even though it very well could have.
Time for me to go save some orphans. I've got to go to Pluckmuckle and see the mayor.
Good. Since you are going into town anyway, I have a package I need delivering.
We have two
Go inside
packages we
Nozzleford's
need to
general
deliver.
store and give this package to Nozzleford himself.
So,
Now go.
seems like we're going to be going to an actual city, whereas before this point we have just been limited to kind of a more country area. There's a thought here we should possibly wrap up on. This first section feels a lot like DLC. Like, this would have been the ending of episode 1, and we would have lost all of our equipment and had to start over from scratch with episode 2. Now, it would have been incredibly annoying in any game if there were 5 episodes and each episode starts with you effectively being back to level 1 and having to start over from scratch. And I don't think this trend continues with the rest of the game, because I don't recall that being an annoyance. And certainly in the Xbox 360 version that I played, which I believe was the initial release of this game, it wasn't broken up into episodes. But the Penny Arcade game before it was definitely broke up into like 2 episodes, and I think they were planning on making even more, and it just didn't get anywhere. Much like how many of the early Telltale games, like the Bone game, for instance, planned to have more episodes, and they never actually made them. I suppose if this was re-released on a mobile format, you might give away the first episode for free and then charge $1.99 for the rest of the game. There might be an idea there. Or maybe you figure out some way in which you pop up ads in between, I don't even know, deaths, I guess, or before each load. The problem with trying to make any money with ads in a cell phone game, though, is that you have to show so many that it just ruins the experience. And this is a game that definitely would be better suited to just sell itself at a full price of $2 or $3. Once you start getting up to $10, though, I imagine this was close to a $40, $50 game when it first came out, but by modern standards, I don't think that would quite fly. If you sold the whole trilogy, that it might sell for $40 or $50, but then it wouldn't sell on a cell phone platform for that much. So that might very well be the reason why we haven't seen this been ported. If anything, I suspect Hothead Games really just doesn't have enough funding or enough people working there. They may not really be in business anymore. It's pretty easy for small indie companies to just go dormant. But yeah, not bad. We're making we're making decent progress. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. We may very quickly just boil down to, yeah, that was another episode, another 45 minutes of playing the game. This is one of the fears of playing a much longer RPG game, is that you might spend an hour or two just grinding and have very little as a critic, or I may have very little as a critic to say in that 2 hours of grinding. because nothing new happened, and there isn't anything new to criticize. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.